For the uninitiated, Special Delivery Charizard was a Sword and Shield Black Star promo card released in 2022 to hype the launch of the UK's Pokemon Center online store. This promo card was only available to residents in the UK, US, and Canada. It is estimated that at least 200,000 cards were distributed during this event. This card is so cute, but by the time I found out about it, people were already selling them for sky-high prices in the secondary markets. I cannot bear to drop so much money for a casual hobby, and that's what inspired me to make this Special Delivery Charizard 3 years ago. Today, we are going to help him flap his wings with this toy and create a full tutorial for Pikachu with this bag of pipe cleaners. Okay, I just took Charizard down from the ceiling. He is made from pipe cleaners plus a small amount of clay and took me about 3 months to complete. He was always meant to be able to flap just like this beautiful mobile. However, while one pipe cleaner's weight is negligible, this chunky boy with the combined weight of almost 500 pipe cleaners is almost 400 grams. Long story short, he is immobile. Naturally, Charizard became my excuse to buy these dreamlike wings. My intention is to hide this mechanism inside his chest cavity. I didn't expect the actual thing to be this big. Now I will need to open this toy up to see how I can make it fit nicely inside Charizard. Before I do that though, isn't it a little wasteful to not at least assemble the wings for its intended purpose? Zhao Cai. I've already removed the batteries so I can safely open this baby up. The insides doesn't look too complicated, and thankfully the sides of the shell are basically empty. I first mark the places I plan to cut away with a marker, then I start working on it with this multi-purpose soldering tool. Plastic fumes are toxic, so wear a mask, people. If it's your first time using something like this, start with a lower temperature and slowly increase the heat only when you are certain that nothing is going to start burning. I use a handkerchief as a base to protect my table, and it doubles as oven mitts in case I need to adjust the tool head. Once done, it's time to see if everything is still functional after we remove the speaker to the oddly catchy music. Yay! And now it's time for Charizard's major surgery. His disintegrating harness has been removed in advance, and I decided to pluck off the tail flame to keep it out of the way. We are now approaching the psycho-sounding part. I wrap cling wrap around his head and tail to keep him clean, then I cut off his wings. I also decided that the arms needed to be cling wrapped and the legs needed to go too. Next to go is his tail, entire back, followed by his entire belly. I wrapped 2 small green pipe cleaners on his sides to mark the position for his legs. Then I plucked off the remaining yellow pipe cleaners. New yellow pipe cleaners are threaded through his body using an awl. I go downwards and across his body, creating a grid in the shape of his rounded belly as I twist the intersecting pipe cleaners together. This craft is actually pretty easy to pick up, and it's very forgiving. The wires help it retain its form even when the weaving isn't perfect. Let me know in the comments if you would still like to see a full tutorial. I actually bought an extra set of dreamlike wings just in case this one breaks, so I have the resources to make another flapping creature from scratch. Also, please do me a solid and subscribe. I need to hit at least 1,000 subscribers to get monetized, and once that happens, I'll be able to afford to make you guys grander and crazier paintings and crafts. That's a promise. Once the main grid is done, all you need to do is just continue to weave the rest of the pipe cleaners to cover the holes. Like this. This step took about 4 hours, and I also used the chance to add some orange pipe cleaners on the sides to even out the height with the same techniques. At this stage, we've encountered a new challenge. The toy is able to fit inside Charizard now, but it is still jutting out too much for me to close up his back. To address this, I opened up the casing again and cut away all the excess plastic from the bottom casing, leaving only the battery compartment. Another issue we're facing is that the engine no longer has the bottom of the casing to hold it in place. So using 2 holes I drilled that I forgot to film, I'm threading a pipe cleaner through them to secure the engine to the top instead. I will be shifting the battery compartment down to the base of Charizard's tail, which means that I'll also have to make the tail a lot wider to fit the batteries inside. But first, we are going to make Charizard a new tail frame. The original one is nice and all, but since the toy comes with lights, I figured I might as well make a translucent version to make use of it. We will need something to hold the lights, so I chose the old lid of my deodorant to use as a casing because it's the perfect size for the upgrade. This version of Charizard will still be suspended on my ceiling, so I start by drilling a hole to prepare for threading later. I then trimmed the lid shorter and glued a piece of orange pipe cleaner inside. It will serve as the connection point to the tail once it's complete. The flame itself will be sculpted from hot glue. This is my first attempt at creating something with it, and after making a few flickers of flame, I discovered a useful trick. After applying the glue, let it flow in the intended direction for a few seconds as it cools. Then, touch the tip with a plastic tool and pull away to form a sharp, natural-looking point. Once the glue dries, trim away any excess glue with a scissors. You can even press the leftover bits back onto the glue gun nozzle to remelt them for the next flicker. In total, I had to sacrifice about 7 glue sticks to the craft gods to get the shape just right. I then applied a base coat of neon yellow and gold acrylic paint and blended in a neon orange and a bit of bronze at the tips to create a more dynamic, fiery effect. Using neon colors instead of normal paint also serves to help the flame stand out against Charizard's orange body. Now for the wings. This is the clip for the butterfly wings that connects to the toy's moving mechanism. I've already trimmed the height of one of the clips and drilled holes on the sides. It will allow me to wrap the wings around the clips just like this. I also finished the body of Charizard off screen with the same method as his belly and threaded a fishing wire through his body. I made a hole here for easy access to the switch and glued on a magnet so Pikachu can stand here later. This panel here is able to open so I can easily change or remove the batteries in the future. I will be reusing the carrier bags I made previously with fabric and clay and replacing the gross black harness with a ribbon I painted brown. Charizard is almost done, but let's switch things up and work on Pikachu for now. I used 15mm, 1 meter long fluffy pipe cleaners to make the original, but for the example, I'll be using a standard pipe cleaners because white on white fluffiness was clearly a mistake. First, I estimated how tall Pikachu would be, excluding his ears. Then, I bent the pipe cleaner 90 degrees at that point and wrapped the rest of the pipe cleaners 2 rounds loosely around the top to make the face, and a 3rd round even more loosely for the snout. Secure at the neck with a twist, and we would have the framework for the head. Thread the longer end from the top through the holes in the head for the right ear. Adjust to match Pikachu's ear length. If you run out of pipe cleaners at any point, feel free to just keep extending it by twisting more pipe cleaners together at the ends. Repeat the steps for the left ear and adjust as needed. Wrap once around the head. Then, from back to front on the right side, thread it through the snout and repeat from the opposite side. Thread it one last time from the back through the center of the snout. Adjust again to get the symmetry and size just right. Twist again at the neck to complete the head. Extend the length if necessary. Next, fold the pipe cleaners twice across the middle, then twist them into place for the arms. Twist the beginning pipe cleaner with the rest for the frame of the body. Then, repeat the steps of the arm for the legs. We are now bulking up the body by wrapping from the back past the right leg, to the front around the body and left arm, ending at the back again. Thread the rest through the hole created and repeat the steps on the other side. Wrap from the middle to around the left leg, then go back to the middle to around the right leg to make hips. Go across the body and thread through the center of the body to make the tummy. Repeat the step 4 times until you reach the underarms. Next, wrap around the right arm, going across the back, and wrap around the left arm as well. Secure by threading through the back line we just created. This moves the shoulders more towards the front to match Pikachu's anatomy. Thread through one hip from the back and repeat the steps on the other side, ending in the middle. I shift the pipe cleaner up the back to prepare to make the tail. Fold the pipe cleaner into a slightly smaller outline of the tail. Thread the rest into the base of the tail to secure it. Then, weave the remaining pipe cleaner in a figure 8 pattern across the inside. The steps I've shown you are pretty much the same for making any small creatures like this. You can add or remove bulk, adjust proportions, and as long as you keep symmetry in mind while wrapping and weaving, it's easy to adapt these techniques to create new creatures. Cut the excess and hide what's left inside the tail. I comb out Pikachu's fur with a metal comb and trim it to shape. Then, I dye him by rubbing yellow chalk pastel all over his fur and use paint markers to colour his tail, stripes, and ears. Next, I first glued on Pikachu's air-dry clay nose. This helps me to more easily position his eyes and center the mouth. Carefully add as little glue as possible to curve the mouth shape. Then finally, we draw on the cheeks. I made this sewing pattern for Pikachu's head, coloured this one black with paint markers, and hand sewed it. Clay and paint markers were used for the details. I also made Pikachu's parcels with cardboard and markers, and sewed his carrier bag with red fabric and added the details with clay. And now, time for the evolution! Special Delivery Pikachu is a 2020 promo card that was only available online in a limited release. Let's go on an adventure with him today.
Pikachu?
And that's it! Our Special Delivery Charizard and Pikachu are finally complete. This project was a lot of fun to bring to life, and I hope you had just as much fun following along. A huge thank you to everyone who watches, supports, and shares my creations. Your encouragement means everything and keeps me inspired to create more. I cannot wait to share my next adventure with you. Until then, remember to always follow your joy. Bye bye!